Hello, welcome to a new video. In today's video, we're gonna take a look at a fantastic team around Shadow Scizor. Like, honestly, this team was so much fun to run, and I stole it. And I don't know who I stole it from, to be fair, because we did some battles on my girlfriend's YouTube account, on her account as well. And we encountered this team, I think, like 3 times or something against us, and was so strong against the team that we were running. By the way, check out that channel as well. We always upload at least twice a week, maybe even 3 times a week soon on that channel, so definitely check that out if you want to see some live commentary. But yeah, definitely we encountered this team like 3 times then. I was like, I really want to take a look at Shadow Scizor anyway. This team looks like it's very, very strong. And so why not try it out? And I have to say, this team was amazing for me. I climbed up over 100 points with this team. And yeah, I'm still kind of close to a Legend Eater range with this team already, which is really, really cool. And definitely something I can recommend you to build as well. This team was fantastic. We're running the mirror shot on our fortress, which in theory is better. In practice, most likely not in Rock Throne, no, it's not Rock, it's Rock Tomb. Rock Tomb on this Pokemon. Rock Tomb would make a little bit more sense. We're running Dragon Claw Brutal Swing on our Gastlord, which is a very unique moveset. You know why we are running this moveset? Because I don't have charge gems to get Sludge Bomb on this Pokemon. I would recommend you, I think maybe even most likely Brutal Swing and Sludge Bomb still makes the most amount of sense on this Pokemon. But as you can see here, we're gonna get the boost with the Scizor in the first battle here already, which actually makes a big difference because otherwise we would have not been able to knock them out here, and we're gonna be able to win the battle because of that. Next opponent, as you can see here already, that is not looking like a Halloween Cup battle. I just accidentally went to the wrong meta here, which is definitely not ideal, but at least I'm going to be able to go for the mirror shot here. I'm going to be able to do nothing against the opponent really, but at least I get a free fast move in against the opponent, which is great. We're gonna see the Feather Dance coming up, and they are gonna be able to swap out now into the Bastion. That is not nice for me at all, but we are not gonna give up, even though of course our team is not designed to, really be good in this meta. We're still gonna try our best here in order to get some wins against Pokemon like that Bastion. And we decided to use a shield here as well because we have access to Earthquake, which will do a ton of damage against the opponent here. Not too sure if this was the right call or not, but we will find out very shortly. As you can see, Earthquake is going to connect, and we can be able to get rid of that Bastion. We are 2 shields down, but we can at least still kinda keep that energy. In the back, it's going to be counter Medicham. That is kinda weird, like that's definitely something that you already see. And again, Shadow Scizor, it just keeps boosting. It is just honestly such a strong Pokemon right now in the current meta, and this is not even the meta it's supposed to go up against. Like, the addition, especially from like the buffed variant of Trailblaze, is so good on the Scizor, which you're gonna see here several times today as well. I would really recommend you to try this Pokemon out if you still have it from the last time. I was a bit worried that Scizor doesn't have any play at all, but I was wrong. This Pokemon has a lot of play, and as you can see here, even though we're in the wrong league, and even though we had like some tough matchups, we were still able to win this one, and we can move on to the next opponent. The next opponent is actually one of the, I think 2 or 3 seasons ago, the first legend of that season. So that's kind of cool. At least I know this player, and I know that they are very, very strong. And I also know that I misplay this battle here quite a bit. So let's take a look at why we misplay and how we misplay. The thing is, I gave them a lot of energy already, mainly because I thought that maybe an Earthquake is going to be enough now from this range. And I was also hoping that I would be easily able to survive 2 Earthquakes, which apparently is not the case. And so yeah, I am going to shield this move up, which is a big mistake. It is definitely a big mistake because, as you're going to see as well, the opponent going to outspeed me again. And sadly, they're going to be able to get to another Earthquake, which I didn't expect. I was expecting like a Stone Edge or something there in time, and now we're in such a bad spot. Like, we're in a horrible spot at this point. We cannot knock them out in time either with our Scizor, as the charge moves are not going to do enough damage. And so we're going to have to go nearly for the full farm down, but it looks like I'm not going to be able to do that, so I'm forced to go for a Night Siege now as well, hoping that I can still kind of sweep with this Pokemon. I kind of need a boost here in order to have any chance. Greninja is coming in, and we can go for that Trailblaze. We're gonna get the knockout, and all of a sudden we have a play here again. We're gonna be able to go for the Night Siege against the opponent. We are +1 boosted, and the opponent is going to struggle a little bit here. Maybe I should have stopped out earlier. Maybe I should have done that. Could have been better for me. I am not too sure. Ice Beam sadly just does barely enough damage to knock me out here as well, which is not ideal. Here's the thing, I think if I had a better Gastlord, I also would have been able to win the battle because I would have been able to survive the move a little bit easier, but good game there. Very unfortunate. So next opponent, also a very well-known player from the community, a very strong player for sure. We're going to have Guzzlord against Guzzlord, and now you see I had to swap out here into my Fortress because neither Brutal Swing or Crunch really are doing any damage against us, and we can just overfarm. We get a ton of energy. I am going to go for the bait here, because at the end of the day I need 2 mirror shots anyway, and I'm just going to try to get them a little bit lower. I'm not too worried about the damage that I'm taking here. I'd rather have some energy on my Pokemon, so I decided to go for 2 more Volt Switches, but they swap out into the Drapion, allowing us to go for an Earthquake now, forcing the shield from the opponent, and I can swap out into my own Guzzlord, which should be able to survive every hit from them. But even if they're going to run Sludge Bomb here, we're still going to be in an okay spot, because what we're going to have is still the Scizor, and Scizor is going to have a ton of energy then if we can farm him down, but they're actually going to have a Crunch here. They're going to be able to knock me out now. But I might be even able to go for the full farm now with my Scizor. Scizor's going to be able to just go for that bullet punch down, and we have a ton of energy against the next matchup. In comes Guzzlord, in comes Night Slash, forcing either the shield or the KO. And now we have 2 shields with 2 Bug and Steel type Pokemon against whatever they have in the back. And as you're gonna see here, the opponent decides to kinda, quit the game, close the app. Just didn't read Hap, and it's going to be the Warmer Dam in the back. And yeah. At this point, I kind of just want to take the time here now as well to just say thank you. Thank you for 80,000 subscribers already. We're getting closer to that 100k. I just want the play button. Honestly, I just want the play button. But yeah, thanks so much for all the support, that you're taking the time out of your day to watch my content. I really appreciate it. It means literally the world to me right now. Like, it's so nice. So thanks all for you. I couldn't do this stuff without you. And yeah, thanks so much for everything. And we can move on to the next opponent. Clodsire. Clodsire is going to be, again, a matchup where I kind of would like to get a little bit of damage, and then we're going to swap out here to try to catch a move. And again, I feel like, I don't know, I always thought that the Earthquake is not going to do as much damage to 2-shotters here, and so I thought this is going to be a great matchup for us. We can go ahead and go for another Earthquake, and we can let the move go through here. I'm not too really worried about Clodsire, generally speaking, with this team, and so, yeah, I can just go for an Earthquake here and see what the opponent going to try to do. It is going to be the no shield, which is great, because now we can go for a mirror shot as well, trying to get the KO against the opponent. Does it work out for us? Does it not? We will see that it does not knock out the opponent, but they're gonna get an attack drop as well. Maybe if I went for the mirror shot first, I would have been able to still get the knockout here anyway. But like this, they're gonna go for an Earthquake and do a lot of damage. And now we're gonna be a little bit on a tougher spot, as they're gonna reveal the Mandibuzz. And I was worried here. I was worried because, for what reason would you go into a Mandibuzz against the Guzzlord? Other than if there's going to be a Greninja in the back. Greninja has a worse matchup against Guzzlord, because Greninja's squishier, takes neutral hits from Guzzlord, and so I was really worried here about Greninja. And so I was like, yeah, basically, unless I'm gonna get like an energy advantage or like a boost with my Scizor here, I'm going to lose this battle anyway. I'm gonna just try my best to maybe somehow do something against this Pokemon. And then I see that they don't swap out here. And we have a ton of energy now. And even Greninja would have not really knocked us out here at this point. But it's not a Greninja. It is, for whatever reason, a Pokemon where we would have been which would have been really good against Guzzlord. Like, why do you not go into the Ariados against the Guzzlord? Like, you would have had such an easier time here, and you most likely would have won the battle. But yeah, just go into your Mandibuzz, which has no play against it. Good job there. But anyway, this is going to be very good for us, because we're now going to be able to win the battle with the 3rd boost of Scizor so far. So we had 5 battles so far, 3 of them got a Scizor boost, which is very, very nice. We're gonna have a Malamar against us here right now. We're gonna be able to go for that Brutal Swing to do some decent damage against them. They're very likely not going to go ahead and try to debuff themselves, and so I'm swapping out into my Fortress just to take the hits. I don't really care too much about what they want to go for. Foul play, feel free to do that. It's not really doing too much damage here either. And so we can let the next move go through as well. And look at this, we're gonna be able to basically, still keep our Fortress, align ourselves accordingly, get the Earthquake off against the Ariados, and we have a great time here. We're just gonna try our best to go for another Mirror Shot as well, which you're gonna be able to get through as well here against the opponent, and we're gonna look really, really good there. As the opponent decides to use a shield here even, we're gonna now be able to go ahead and go into our Scizor. I might have to use a shield eventually though, because a lunge is still going to hurt quite a bit, even as you're gonna see here. It's going to be resisted, but still gonna chunk quite a bit. I'm going to use a shield here, I have a ton of energy, and yeah, hopefully it's going to work out, but they're going to have a Clodsire in the back, and as you're going to be debuffed, you're going to be forced to swap out, and I just have to hope that Scizor is going to be able to win the entire battle for us, because Clodsire is going to be able to knock out the Guzzlord here eventually, and then it's only Scizor left, and so Yeah, it is going to be a tough one. Sludge Bomb is coming through though, so they're going to have the cheapest move here for sure. At least it's not Stone Edge. Stone Edge would also knock out Scizor, most likely at this range. And so Sludge Bomb is coming through again. We're going to be forced to go for the Trailblaze. I'm not too sure it's going to be enough to knock them out afterwards with the fast move pressure already, but they decided to use a shield anyway, and so we can use a shield as well. It is going to be the opponent's Sludge Bomb again, which is really awkward, and they make a great call here. I overfarmed even, and they still were able to catch the move, and that is just ridiculous. And so sadly we're going to lose the battle now, even though we had a great position. We kind of screwed up for ourselves. The opponent gonna go for a charge move, and it's a Sludge Bomb. And with this game is over. Scizor is going to be able to win this battle here quite easily now, and we can move on to the next opponent. Gaziwazi against the Green Ninja. Green Ninja definitely not going to enjoy this matchup, and as you're going to see the Drapion swapping in, I should have stayed in for a little bit. You should always kind of stay in for a little bit, because you have decent answers against Green Ninja with a team. Like, I don't really see the point of doing what I did here right now by, yeah, swapping out. Doesn't make sense, to be fair, especially as Guzzlord usually going to be able to, yeah, knock out something like the Drapion here, so you're going to be able to, yeah, take hits like Ocrotail and Crunch for resisted damage, while we still have neutral damage against the opponent. Doesn't make any sense at all what I just did here, so I would not recommend you to do that at all. But at least they're gonna swap out into the Granger, locking themselves into this matchup, and it's again a good matchup for us. So I don't really know what the opponent tried to do there as well. Like, they got an advantage and they completely screwed that advantage up, so I have no idea what their plan was, but definitely did not work out at all. And I expect that they're going to have some kind of poison type in the bag. I would love to see a Toxapex, which I haven't seen at all so far, because Toxapex would completely get walled by our Fortress, but apparently that Pokemon doesn't exist anymore. And the final opponent's Pokemon is going to be the Clodsire again, which is going to be a bit of an awkward one, because they're very likely going to try to catch a move eventually as well. You can swap into the Scizor, forcing them to go for a charge move or the swap out here. Both are fine for me. And now we can go for the Night Surge and hope for the boost here, basically. Night Surge does 50 damage. I guess it would have been better now in hindsight to go for Trailblaze. Trailblaze does A, more damage, and B, also gonna boost, of course, my own attack. And so, as I'm going to be able to take a hit here with a Guzzlord, I am also going to be able to now go into our Fortress, and I should be kind of fine. Even here, 2 Earthquakes should not be enough to knock me out, as Earthquake is going to be neutral, and they don't get enough fast move pressure in, and so we're gonna guarantee win this battle here, and we can move on afterwards into the next battle. Morpeko. This is going to be an interesting one here, as we're gonna see Morpeko is going to have no play really against Guzzlord. They're very likely gonna swap out eventually, but I get a ton of damage against them already, which is a great sign for us. We're gonna see the opponent swapping out there into Drifblim. Great matchup for us again. We can go for a Brutal Swing, which I don't know if they're gonna use a shield against or not, because they saw already the Dragon Claw, but they actually decided to use a shield, which is quite smart, I guess, from them, as I can go into my Volt Switch user here as well, which is gonna be lovely. The opponent goes for the Shadow Ball here against me as well, which I still remember, and we can go for a shield, as they're gonna go for the Icy one now. That's gonna be a bit tricky. I should have used the shield on the first one most likely, but it is what it is. As long as we can still get alignment, that would be kind of nice. Can we get alignment? We're gonna see the shield coming up, we're gonna see the attack drop coming up as well, and I think the attack drop was really important because we just were able to survive with a 1 HP on Dream, just for them to survive with a 1 HP on Dream. So maybe it was not as important as I was hoping for, but yeah. Here's another issue. Or it would have been. If the opponent would have not swapped out onto my charge move here, I would have been fine. Like, the opponent would have been fine, never mind. But now the opponent has, like, it was such a silly mistake by the opponent. Like, they would always win the CMP die. I would be always forced to basically let the move from Azuma go through, and they literally just gave me the win. Fairly certain if they just stayed in and went for the Ice Beam, they would have won the battle here. But they didn't, and so I will take this one. Thanks so much, and we can move on to the final one for today. 2 Gaziwazis against each other, but we're gonna see the swap out now into the Ariados, which can retaliate with the Fortress. Fortress going to enjoy this matchup. Like, honestly, Fortress is gonna love this matchup. Being able to resist every single hit from the opponent, double resisting all of the hits from the opponent, actually. Every single thing that they're gonna go for is gonna be double resist. No, never mind. Lunge is gonna be single resisted. Forgot about this one, never mind. We're going to have here, of course, the Poison typing and as well as the Grass typing, which is both double resisted from the Bug and Steel typing, while Lunge is going to be single resisted. That's also why it still does some decent damage here, to be fair. And as you're going to see here, we're going to swap out straight away into our own Guzzlord. Reason for this is we have 2 Steel type Pokemon and Guzzlord. Like, there is, like, no reason for me to go for a like triple or quadruple debuffed Earthquake against this Pokemon beforehand and let them farm me down. There's no reason for this. No, I'm going to try basically to win this battle with just my Scizor, hoping that there is a Pokemon in the back that I can deal with, and I'm going to get a ton of energy here for that one. So, Brutal Swing is coming through. They're going to swap out. It's going to be the Clodsire, and I'm just going to go for the spam here, and my goal is get rid of that final shield. Maybe I should have went for, though, the Trailblaze here first, getting a bit of an attack buff with it. But as you're gonna see here, I just need to get that shield. If I don't get the shield, I'm gonna be in big trouble here. And let's see if we're gonna be able to get at least still the shield against the opponent. Earthquake came through. We're gonna see the Night Switch coming through, and the shield is up there. And this is going to allow us to now swap out, get the Earthquake onto them with the Fortress, and knock them out. And in the back is only the Gastrodon, which we can still go for the Mirror Shot against and knock them out as well and win the battle. And this is going to be it for this video. Thanks so much for watching. Scizor is definitely back, and I will see you then. Bye bye.